you doing there, guys? And welcome back to another little video with me, your authentic Cockney. Now today I'm located in the bathroom of the Cockney residence to go through with you some of my toiletry collection, and believe it or not, it is quite extensive. I do like to keep myself nice and groomed, as I believe every man should, looking good, smelling nice. So I've got quite a few things to show you. And in front of your mince pies right here is my, let's start with this, daily container. So basically what this is the stuff that, the basics that we use every day. And I'll be getting on to some more bits and bobs in just a moment. This is like the daily container that I use, the basics of stuff. So most things here people will use. But let's start with this current toothpaste I'm using at the moment. Classic Colgate Advanced White toothpaste. It's actually charcoal, as you can see. Actually black, so it gives that nice white, crisp, fresh white into your teeth. So I'm currently using at the moment. I switch it up, use different toothpastes, but what I do is I put this on the right of here. This is the little toothpaste, toothpaste container part, and along with that is the brush. Currently using this. This is a firm reach brush. I get this out of Savers. If you're in the UK, you would know of Savers. Typical little high street shop. Get all your toiletries, bits and bobs in there. That's what I'm using at the moment. I feel like they clean your teeth nicely, they do. Just pop that in there. Classic razor for obviously shaving. 3 blades. Standard big razor. I do switch it up a bit with the types that I use, but that's what I'm using at the moment. Brand new one now. Just get a bit of a look at those blades. Pop that off. Put this over this side of the container. Now, I believe every man should own one of these. This is a cutthroat razor, and I use this to trim my beard, give it a nice shape the beard. And I use it every day. This is a daily appliance that I use. I think every guy should own one of these, shape your beard so it's nice and perfect, looking good, looking fresh. So I use daily. Cutthroat razor. Now, I have 2 types of comb, a larger one. There's no real preference to what one that I use. But whatever one I just pick up, I use. There's a larger one now. And of course, a smaller one here. Next, got here these barber scissors. Now, I don't use them all that often, but I do trim my own hair now and again. So I thought I'd get them, and they're sort of a daily thing that I do use, really. Most of the time. Well, I count them as a daily appliance, so I put them in here because they go with the combs. They go with the grooming bits and bobs, you know what I mean? So I pop them in there. And in this little packet, Arizona, I've got just some tweezers. I don't really use them on the daily, but I count them as grooming bits and bobs. Just a few different variations of tweezer there, with one missing, obviously. I don't know where that's gone. And I pop them there as well. I can squeeze them in. Let's put them like that for now. So that is my daily bits and bobs stack. Just move that to one side. Now I'm going to get onto some other bits that can't fit into the daily container. There's some things I do use on the daily, some things I don't. Beginning with the current deodorant that I'm using at the moment. Sure Men XXL Invisible Ice Fresh. Now, I change up my deodorants, so I like to change them up quite a lot. And I do like this Ice Fresh scent. I feel like you get that lovely scent actually, and it is 48 hours dry protection, but it really does work. And I get these Sure ones a lot. Again, you get these out of Savers, just down the town centre, just on the high street. Proper sorts you out, you know what I mean, for 48 hours. And I love this scent. You can get variations of it, but as you can see, a large deodorant costs like a couple of quid, something like that. Nice little design, yellow there with the black and the Sure tick, and Invisible Ice Fresh. Let's pop that over there, shall we? Next up, now, two types of hair spray that I use. This, I don't know if you can get this anywhere else other than the UK, but I'm telling you, as it is, it says this is actually phenomenal. Funny I said that, isn't it? This is Bloke's hairspray, and this is really good for dry hair. So what I do is I don't wet my hair too much. I make it a little bit wet, mostly dry, and then spray some of this on. It gives you a proper decent hold. It's a bit pricey for what it is, but because it's so good, and this is part of the phenomenal range, I use that as much as I can. That type of not deodorant, sorry, hairspray. Lovely sleek red design. Use that quite a bit. It's nearly empty, so it's got a bit of wear and tear on the can. Let's just start it over there, shall we? Also got this. It's a different type of hairspray I've not used before. This is Volumania. Got to Be brand again. It's different from Phenomenal. I've not tried it yet because I've not used this one, but we've got some sort of chart system here which tells you that this is Extreme Older number 5 and this is Fearless Older number 4. And their intention is to give you a slightly different look, but I ain't used it yet. I'll be going obviously for a slightly, just dampening my hair a little bit and then keeping it mostly dry, because that's how I like to style my hair, like that. Nice purple design there in the can. quite a big weighty can. So we're giving that one a go. After I finished that with that phenomenal. And also in between that, if I do want to mix up the style a little bit, I'll try a bit of this. This is Wet Look Styling Gel. Now, I wouldn't say it holds as well as these, and you won't be getting that dry sort of look with this. Obviously it says wet look, but it is a liquid, so we'll give you that wet look anyway rather than being a spray. But as you can see, all them, if I bring it up close, all them lovely sort of bubbles in there, do you know what I mean? I've used it from time to time. When I was growing my hair maybe a little bit longer, slick it back with a comb, give you that wet look. Something out of like Goodfellas, bit of old school De Niro, something like that. Now moving on to some bits and bobs I might use in the shower. So this is the Hydra Energetic L'Oreal Men Expert Deep Exfoliating Face Scrub. Love this stuff. Blokes, if you ain't got it, get it. Proper decent, proper nice. Use this in the shower, exfoliate your face for about 20-30 seconds and wash off your face. It feels lovely and fresh. Follow that with a little bit of moisturiser and you're golden, mate. And this is, as you can see, a green substance there. I'll just squeeze a little bit out of that with the little sandy texture that it has. But this is my go-to one. I've used a few of these before to exfoliate, and I believe you should be exfoliating. It's good for your skin. Gets all the impurities out and all the dirt and that out of your pores, do you know what I mean? So that's the one I use. And obviously, along with when I'm having a shower, at the moment I'm on this, the Radox shower gel. I've used quite a bit of that already, nearly empty on that. So a new one is due. But you get these big XL massive ones. They're like a couple of quid, £2.50, something like that. Again, down at Savers, I get a lot of my gear, a lot of my bathroom toiletries, bits and bobs at Savers. Loads of variations and choice up there. And this is the Feel Moisturised. See that liquid in there. But I'll switch up the old moisturisers. Sorry, not moisturisers, shower gels. Start to build that vision of a collection now, aren't we? Now when I'm out of the shower and exfoliated, this is my go-to moisturiser. This is mustard. Don't know if you can get it any other part of the world, but if you're in England, this should be your go-to moisturiser. The reason being, for me, it absorbs really well. So you slap some of this on and it absorbs really well. Makes you feel proper moisturised after exfoliating with that L'Oreal Hydra Energetic. That makes you feel like a brand new geezer. So give that a go. Nice attractive little tub there with the blue and green. Let's bring it to the front a little bit. Now talking of moisturisers, I've got a few tattoos, and when I've got a new one done, this is what I would use to moisturise it. So when I started getting them, I was told by the old tattoo artist, cocoa butter. So this is what I got. I did have another type which I've used up. So got this as a new one. And this is good for moisturising tattoos. I've used a fair bit of it. And I'd slap some of that on, moisturise the toes. But that's cocoa butter cream, what I would use to moisturise it. And obviously you've got that brown and the white, nice little design. Obviously cocoa butter signifying chocolate or brown, so we'll go with that as a design. Good choice. But the alternative is straight up tattoo moisturiser. So I see that in the shop, bought that as well. And that is straight up tattoo moisturiser there, which I would use actually. I would alternate between using this and this, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, etc. Same thing, just moisturising the tattoos that you get for a couple of weeks. I think 2 to 3 weeks. They say you keep them moist twice a day, if you want, if so. So that's another type of moisturiser. Now, also use this. This is essential healing. I don't normally use it that often, but I would maybe if I got a fresh trim, when I got my hair cut, my barnet cut down the barbers, I would, when they use the razor to shave the back of your neck and that, sometimes I'll pop a little bit of that on when I get back home, do you know what I mean? So I sometimes use that, not that often though, but it's there if needed. Let's pop that over there, shall we? A bit more miscellaneous. I don't really use this every day, but this is my Nivea Men face wash. Would use that randomly sometimes. I haven't used it for a while. Maybe if I have a little bit of a freshen up, already had a shower, but maybe just to freshen up after a couple of hours before I pop out, do you know what I mean? Something like that. So, it's nice though. It gives you a nice, fresh feel, a little bit of a tingling sensation, a little bit of a, not necessarily burning, do you know what I mean, but tingling sensation. And again, sometimes I use this. This is your Nivea Daily Skin and Stubble Lotion. Sometimes I've had a beard trim. If I trim a beard with the old cutthroat, I would stick a bit of that on just to settle the where it's been sensitive from trimming. I'm usually pretty careful when I trim, but sometimes I use that. Building up a nice visual of the collection now. Now, some people may not use these, but now and again I do go on the sunbeds. Guilty as charged. Us Cockneys do love a little bit of a sunbed. And to help top up your tan, you can use this, which is watermelon cream. Smells beautiful. And you pop this on with a little bit of SPF, obviously, and then you go on a sunbed. Not for too long, obviously. Got to look after yourself. But this does assist your tan, and I'll use this now and again. I ain't done the sunbed for a while, to be honest. I'm not mad on them. I know some people are. They don't have to be proper brown. I do love a tan, but I'm not mad on the sunbeds because they ain't too good for you. So you got to be careful, do you know what I mean? But I do use a bit of that now and again. Along, obviously, like what I said, being careful with the SPF Hawaiian Tropic. Always use your SPF for protection, do you know what I mean? So that's a spray in the classic, I think we've seen these all recently, the classic Hawaiian Tropic bottle, spray bottle there. We've all seen that before, haven't we? So use that along with the intensifying cream. And then once we're showered, we're trimmed, we're tanned and moisturised, we finish off with this bad boy here. This is ultraviolet, man. I'll pack her a bone. I'm telling you what, if you ain't got this, you need to get it. This is one of the best scents I've ever had. I love wearing this. It's beautiful. And I love these like designs, you know what I mean? Design of that. Someone has put some proper thought into designing that, do you know what I mean? Pretty gorgeous container in it, along with the colour of that liquid inside. And I use that whenever I'm going out. My favourite. Highly recommend that. If you're a fella, pop out, get yourself a bit of that. Now that completes my toiletry collection for now. But I am going to go through some sounds, if I may, with a few of these bits right now for you.